Hey everybody, watched this story about Cambridge Analytica and Facebook, and I thought, this feels like the seeds for this were planted back in 2010 when this whole issue of data access and the right to privacy came up, and Mark Zuckerberg, during an interview at the Crunchies in 2010 that I was at, and I have a video of on Zenny62 on YouTube, made a statement about how he came to a sea change of a different view regarding privacy on Facebook. At the time, there was a project called Prism. Prism was a kind of a data gathering program that was established by the National Security Administration, NSA, that got into the servers of internet companies and mined your personal data for collection, mined it and collected it for whatever use the NSA had in mind at the time. Zuckerberg said the allegations that Facebook was working with Prism were outrageous. It turned out later that Facebook did have a sort of a lockbox available to certain organizations of the federal government, and other internet companies said, oh no, this isn't the case. None of them would actually admit that they were working with, behind the scenes in secret, the federal government and the NSA. And then in order to cover its tracks even more, what Facebook did at the time, later in 2009, this is before the 2010 comment that I'm about to read to you, what they did was they changed the policy in such a way that if you didn't set the proper defaults to protect your privacy, your information, such information you shared as location and so on, if you didn't do that, it was automatically declared in Facebook's terms of service as available to the public. A lot of people had no idea of this. The public was essentially on Facebook being turned from innies to outies. But the information that you would put on the graph became available to be mined by organizations like then Prism, for example. You see how that was going to work? So fast forward from 2009 and 2010 at the Crunchies, which I'll read to you, into today, and we have Cambridge Analytica exploited the Facebook data of 50 million users. Think about it, 50 million users, right? This is what Mark Zuckerberg said, and this is on my Zenny62 blog, regarding privacy. He said, and I quote, "When I got started in my dorm room, and this was I posted this originally in 2010, but I originally made the video in 2000. I posted in 2013, but I originally made the video in 2010. Anyway, Zuckerberg said, when I got started in my dorm room at Harvard, the question a lot of people asked was, why would I want to put any information on the internet at all? Why would I want to have a website? And then in the last 5 or 6 years, blogging has taken off in a huge way, and all these different services that have people sharing this information. People really have gotten comfortable not only with sharing more information in different kinds, but more openly and with more people." This is Zuckerberg talking. The social norm is just that has evolved over time. We view it as our role in the system to consistently be innovating and updating what our system is to reflect what the current social norms are. A lot of companies will be trapped by the conventions and their legacies of what they built doing a privacy change, for which 350 million users is not the kind of thing that a lot of companies will do. Let me repeat that. A lot of companies will be trapped by the conventions and the legacies of what they built doing a privacy change. Doing a privacy change for 350 million users is not the kind of thing that a lot of companies would do. But we viewed that as a really important thing to always keep a beginner's mind. And what we would do is, if we were starting the company now and we decided that these would be the social norms now, and we just went for it. And what I wrote then is that set the policy change for how Facebook would engage with the United States government in trying to strike a balance between intelligence needs and the concerns of privacy advocates. And now the New York Times is in 2013. Claire Can Miller writes in June 7th that her sources assert that Facebook, with Microsoft, Yahoo, Google, Apple, AOL, and Paltalk, came up with a way to give a kind of locked mailbox, but not direct server access to the United States government. And in a way, it allows the firms to deny giving NSA any organization server access from a public perspective, all the while serving the private intelligence needs of America. My point is that in this openness, this idea that we share everything and it's okay for us to share everything, Mark Zuckerberg, in since encouraging us to do that, opened the floodgates for that data to be on Facebook, to be mined, not just by NSA organizations, but also organizations like Cambridge Analytica today. So this has been in motion for quite some time. Facebook has only grown, and its expertise in gathering data and sharing it with organizations has only increased. And as you can see, not for the better. Essentially, our openness has now been used against us. All right.